Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
Nazi Germany, history or future? That's the question that we'll be asking. People are being jailed once again in Germany for things they're saying. One of the aspects of this story that surprises me most and troubles me most is the idea that Nazism was a consequence of too much free speech. I don't know how to do the logistical pirouettes to get there, because I thought that Nazism was about maximal control and maximal violence and racialized execution. But let's get into this story together and work out, has Europe been lost to authoritarianism? Let's get into it.
It's illegal to display Nazi symbolism, a swastika, or deny the Holocaust. That's clear. Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
Insult. Man, I'll tell you what, man, I got some serious leverage because I've been insulted a lot in public, in private, on the internet. Think of my way my children carry on. I got some serious grounds.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there.
You insulted me! You insulted me right in the internet! Which is what I call my anus.
If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
that sticks around forever.
Yeah.
You insulted me on the internet. That's there for eternity now. Almost as if there is some dimension that is outside of time, some eternal principle, accessible through the moment. And you insulted me in it. Do you remember when Carl Sagan said that all of the signals, TV and radio waves broadcast in order that we might receive content in its former analog configuration is still radiating limitlessly and infinitely through space? Once you've accepted that, is it not easy to experience a kind of karmic idea of atemporality, that everything you've ever said, everything you've ever done, it's all out there forever? In a sense, the internet is just a lapidary, binary inscription of our conduct. Let us be good. Let us be beautiful together. Now, let us not yield to centralized authority and give them that role of adjudication. What is their adjudication based on? What are the principles they're governing within and towards? It just seems to me that they continually look for opportunities to impose authority while claiming it's to help you or to help some other vulnerable group. Let me know in the comments and chat if you agree with that.
The prosecutors explain German law also prohibits the spread of malicious gossip.
Oh my God, I'm moving to that place because I've been subject to malicious gossip, rumours. They've also outlawed skullduggery and tomfoolery and tit-for-tat claptrap. All outlawed under Germany. What's not outlawed is putting people in jail for stuff they've said.
Violent threats and fake quotes.
Fake quotes. I believe it was George Bernard Shaw that said, "You can't touch this. You're going to jail, motherfucker!"
If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well, because...
Oh my God, they're telling you everything's a crime now. Everything's a crime. Reposting's a crime. Do I like so you might go, that, and that's a crime. But would you argue, oh yeah, but whoever pressed the bomb that facilitated the decimation of Nagasaki only really did that? Yeah, but it's much worse though, isn't it, to blow up a whole city full of people and eradicate them, rather than just, I do quite like Kanye West.
The reader can't distinguish whether you just invented this or just reposted it. That's the same for us.
That's the troubling notion, if you ask me. The reader, they can't discern. The poor reader is an idiot. The reader is an imbecile. That's more insulting. Let me know in the comments. Don't you find that more insulting, that you're being governed by people? Oh, the reader won't be able to determine whether that's an ironic German accent or a hateful German accent. This is probably a hate crime now. Don't you see that what they're doing is kind of releasing spores of legislation so that wherever you go, you can't avoid, like there's sort of dandelion seeds. A crime, everything's a crime. Sit still, get in your box. That bacteria could kill you. That cold could kill you. Have a vaccine against reposting.
The punishment for breaking hate speech laws can include jail time for repeat offenders. But in most cases, a judge levies a stiff fine and sometimes keeps their devices.
Whoa, man, that's the state backing up your devices. When did you vote for that? When did you pay taxes for that? You are funding their tyranny. In a sense, Hitler was like vulgar and overt. There's insidious and bureaucratic. At least you can see Hitler coming, not on the hype basis, but the sea kiling, the flags. You think, whoa, hold on, this guy's up to something, and it's not when oh well, someone might not know if you were being ironic when you repost it. It's best we jail you and take your devices just in case.
How do people react when you take their phones from them?
They are shocked. It's a kind of punishment if you lose your smartphone.
They kind of think, well, it's ironic that in defending people from the Nazis, we're doing things that the Nazis would themselves have thought were perhaps overreach. They're pretty shocked. They're pretty shocked when we rounded them up into the internment camps. They kind of couldn't believe it when we made people start wearing... What we've decided to do is people that have impeached free speech have to wear a yellow star. And on it says Juden. And then we'll know that that person does not obey free speech rules.
It's even worse than the fine you have to pay.
Because your whole life is typically on your phone now.
Yep, we own you and we own your life. Here are the German police, without a note of irony, bagging up human beings into cells on the basis of stuff they've said on the internet, like you're doing now if you're in the comments, which you should be. So, helps the algorithm probably. I don't know. I've not read a book on that.
It's 6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany.
Hier ist die Polizei, wir mussten bitte mal mit Ihnen reden.
Haven't you seen a bunch of scenes in movies where Gestapo in leather coats are in stairwells? Dun, 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 dun. I've seen that so many times. It's like a cliche. Now they're sort of wearing they're clutching a clipboard. Hello. We've reason to believe that Anne Frank's in there, free speeching all over a diary. Get her out. Free speech is under attack, but Rumble Premium refuses to back down. That's why you should use Rumble Premium. Support content creators like me, and him, and him, and him, and him. I'm going to say and her, but is there one? And her? Oh. That's good. And her. With major advertisers conspiring to pull their dollars, even brands like Dunkin' Donuts turn their back, claiming Rumble had a right-wing culture. We're not here to fit a mold. We're here to defend free expression. To strengthen this mission, we're excited to offer Rumble Premium, a completely ad-free experience with exclusive benefits. Grow up. For viewers and creators. It's more than a subscription. It's a stand for free speech. Your voice matters. Join Rumble Premium. For a limited time, you can get $10 off an annual plan using the promo code BRAND. Visit rumble.com/premium/brand and claim your discount today. Together we can turn the tide, whether you join Rumble Premium or simply keep watching. Your support helps keep free speech alive. Go to rumble.com/premium/brand and use the code BRAND to get $10 off.
Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone.
And we are going to have to take those diaries, I'm afraid.
Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime.
Anything can be used to commit a crime. You could bash someone to death with a daffodil if you were committed.
The crime? Posting a racist cartoon online. At the exact same time across Germany, more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what prosecutors say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech in Germany.
We've got to curb it. We have got to curb online hate. Online hate speech is bad, isn't it? We all know that. Of course it's bad. Like if you post a racist cartoon, that's not a good thing to do. You sort of know that, don't you? Don't do it. Or sexist, or pornographic. In fact, we do need to have a pretty deep investigation of our morals and ethics, and we should talk about what we post online. But if it's not based on your personal sovereignty, if it's based on centralized authority, and if that centralized authority is creeping deeper and deeper into your behavior until it's actually at the point where it's infringing on stuff you type on your phone, that's a much, much bigger threat than the threat that it's seeking to curtail or prohibit or respond to. Here's Musk on that. Thank the Lord that America has free speech. CBS joined German police to conduct a raid on a citizen for posting a meme online. Now, I bet it wasn't a very nice meme or whatever, but, can't we regulate that ourselves? Do we need to centralise authority to that degree? No, what we need is to set up hate aid. Hate aid sounds like you're aiding hate.
The criticism that, this feels like the surveillance that Germany conducted 80 years ago. How do you respond to that?
There is no surveillance.
Josephine Ballon is a CEO of Hate Aid, a Berlin-based human rights organization.
Just because you're named after a balloon, that doesn't mean you're fun or friendly. Neither does it mean you can be full of hot air.
That supports victims of online violence.
Victims of online violence. I know you could probably find an example of no, look, this all happened online, it was really bad. But what about all them people that got really cancelled early on? I'm not even talking about famous people, like some woman saying some sort of slightly off-key thing on an aeroplane. Do you remember that? And by the time she landed, everyone had destroyed her life. Isn't this kind of mob mentality more of a fierce and ferocious threat? The fact that people like doing it, don't they? People like it. You have to remember that if you've ever been the subject of that kind of mob mentality, and I have, you recognise that it's people like forming packs and hunting, but we're being kind of civilized out of that sort of behavior. So when people are legitimately able to form a circle and stone a victim, we're doing the right thing because that person, is a racist or a rapist or what is it that they are? Yeah. Can we invent a crime? Can we release spores into every corner of public life so that everything's a crime? And then if we feel like we want to vent or destroy someone, we can. And we can feel good while we're doing it. This isn't mob mentality. This isn't violence. We aren't the baddies. Are we, Hans?
Are we the baddies?
In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries.
Who's imposing them boundaries? Who's imposing them? Because isn't that that's everybody says that. That's Hitler. We need boundaries. Here's the boundary where this racial group's finished, this sexual group's finished, these disabled people. Who do you trust to impose those boundaries? Oh, well, the people that you voted for and gave an electoral mandate. What if they changed their policy while they're in government? What if they incrementally increase their control? There ain't no mandate around absolute principles like free speech unless you start getting rid of the idea that there's a God and then you can kind of do what you want because the only authority is ultimately the authority of violence. That's what they're seemingly arguing against while simultaneously implementing.
And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want.
Free speech, endless freedom to say anything they want, unless that in itself becomes a crime, it's like I'm going to kill you, or why don't we kill this person, or burn that thing down. That we've already got crimes for that. Don't pretend you're helping. It's authoritarianism. You are the thing you hate. The thing you are accusing people of is the thing that you are doing. It's so sort of beautifully Jungian and perfect. Such an obvious and evident expression of shadow forces, nefarious forces, dark, non-carnal powers, spiritual dark power being expressed in the most mundane way. Of course it has to be mundane. If they made it interesting, like Hitler did, you'd notice it. It's like, bloody hell, this is interesting. This guy's dressed up pretty crazy. Not this time. It's Mrs. Balloon coming out to tell you that there are boundaries and limitations on your free speech.
While everyone else is scared and intimidated.
And your fear is that if people are freely attacked online, that they'll withdraw from the discussion.
This is not only a fear, it's already taking place. Already half of the internet users in Germany are afraid to express their political opinion, and they rarely participate in public debates online anymore. Half of the internet users.
Oh no, people aren't participating on public debates on the internet. Shall we start jailing people? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Here's Mike Benz, who you can always trust on these subjects. These two things aired the same episode because these two things are related. USAID has been funding all of Europe's censorship organisations. How astonishing. Free speech news. He's sort of citing this interview on 60 Minutes. How brilliant what's this? Christina Dry, who was fired in the USAID shutdown. Yeah, I remember when she cropped up. 12 days ago, people knew where their next paycheck was coming from. They knew how they were going to pay their kids' daycare, their medical bills, and it's gone overnight. Yeah, USAID is a way of masking imperialist projects that advance state control. So at least we can say, amidst this complexity, that it's a good thing that that's been shut down. But the fissures between Europe and the US are growing, whether it's the Ukraine-Russia conflict or the subject of free speech. Let me know what you think about Germany's free speech crackdown, and let me know if you're detecting some irony. In order to protect us from Nazis, we're having to turn into Nazis. I mean, I get the motif of wearing the skin of your enemies, but you do have to kill your enemies in order to acquire their skin. And free speech is being desecrated and decimated, all in the name of what? Freedom? It doesn't make sense to me. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.